Rolling. Dear Leisha, welcome to episode 1 of Taking Fiction Too Seriously. Move over, Justin Bieber, there is a new Antichrist figure taking the media by storm. Copyrighted soundtrack! This analysis was inspired by the shock and alarm I received when I told they who must not be named that I was studying Harry Potter for one of my English courses, which, for your information, features a magical premise identical to that in Star Wars, and the method of defeating said evil was borrowed directly from Lord of the Rings, which incidentally features a non-evil wizard who wears a pointy hat. So I thought to myself, why not extend the superstitious reading of fiction into other forms of pop culture? Love it or loathe it, you cannot deny the immense popularity of Doctor Who. Huh? Doctor Who? No one cares about that, he's old and ugly, you were saying? This show has been running for over 50 years and it has amassed a vast following of dedicated fans known as Whovians. Now hit me, if that doesn't have the same kind of ring to it as, say, Moravians, Pastafarians, and Christians. So what's the attraction of this 900-year-old alien from the planet Gallifrey in the constellation of Castabirus? More importantly, how is this attraction an imminent threat to the faith of millions of Westerners? Firstly, and most obviously, he is outside of the laws of time and space. He is called a Time Lord, and the only one of his species. He cares deeply about the individual and their troubles, and would sacrifice his life for the protection of others. He is immortal, he dies, and comes back to life. When necessity dictates, he makes a difficult decision of who lives and who dies. In literary terms, this is called playing God. Some cultures and planets openly worship him. On the rare occasion, he does exact seemingly harsh justice to those who deserve it, but is also very merciful and extends second chances to those who perhaps don't deserve it. He is called the Doctor because his true name is too secret, too holy perhaps, for a mere mortal to utter. This rings a few bells regarding the unpronounceable name of God made up of silent letters in the Hebrew alphabet. Also, it is frequent in Christianity to refer to God as our Doctor. The Doctor has regenerated 12 times, arguably 13 if you count the War Doctor, which is too technical to explain here. There are 12 tribes of Israel, arguably 13 if you count Ephraim and Manasseh separately, which is too technical to explain here. And finally, he recognises the inherent worth of the individual and their place in the grand scheme of things. He is quoted to have said, "In 900 years of time and space, I've never met anyone who wasn't important." Sounds nice, doesn't it? So what's the purpose then of these messianic parallels? Doctor Who and God cannot exist in the same universe, which leads us to a very blunt, if primitive, conclusion. Either the Doctor is God, or the Doctor replaces God, which makes enjoying the show ad hoc, which makes the Doctor himself an Antichrist figure, which makes you evil. Alternatively, one might go down the Star Wars, Narnia and Lord of the Rings road and declare the plot analogous to its religious subtext. An allegory, in other words. And allegories are okay, right, Harry? So, the question remains. Antichrist or allegory?
How do you know which is which?
Because that's how I see the universe.
Leisha, I hope you've enjoyed this comparative study and thank you for joining me on the debut episode of Taking Fiction Too Seriously. P.S. As for Stephenie Meyer's open statement that her Scody vampire in the Twilight series is supposed to be a direct metaphor for Jesus, the guy is an undead blood-sucking pedophile. Get a life.